I've got to say, I love it when vegetarians are like, veganism's a step too far for me. You know, like, I don't think I can actually boycott those sorts of industries, the egg industry and the dairy industries. You know, I think it's a bit too far. And you know, like they'll talk about the veal, like they'll talk about veal, or they'll talk about baby lamb, baby cows being killed, and baby pigs. But you're allowing for male chickens on the first day of birth to be blended alive in factory farms if you're eating eggs out of the supermarket as standard. So I mean, it really doesn't make much sense. The thing it makes me want to say is, okay, so you're what, like a wannabe ethical person. I get it. All right, yeah, okay. It annoys me that much that it just makes you want to do that. And I know it's not the best way of outreach and activism. It really isn't. Like, I'm not advocating for that sort of thing. And you should. And I'm watching Joey Carbstrong, and literally that's one of the examples that came up, and it's happened so many times to me personally, talking to people about this. And like he does it in a way where he really lets the person he's talking to feel comfortable enough to stick around for longer. But most of the time, as you've seen in this video that I'm watching, I mean, it's this one here. Fussy Meat is 100 vegan turkey roast. It goes to show that people really aren't interested, and like, even if they're vegetarian, even if they've made the ethical switch to go vegetarian, they're not interested in the rest of it. And this is what makes me just sort of want to tell the truth, as bluntly as I can, because otherwise they're just not going to know. I think in a big way we have to be blunt to get the message across. I honestly feel we've got to be a bit more blunt sometimes with our message, because then it may provoke an emotional response more so, but at the same time that person will go away and they'll think about it. They'll think about what's been said. A bit more than they have been, because if they've been vegetarian for 9 years and they're like, I'm doing my bit, I don't need to go, something else has to happen, like has to change. And if we're trying to get everyone to go vegan in the best way possible without being rude, vegetarians, if they've made the step ethically to go in the direction where they're not exploiting animals, but they stop there, then they're doing half a job, and they need to know that. They need to realize that. So, and not only that, if we're talking just on health in terms of, the diet-wise, you don't need eggs and dairy. You really don't. One thing that I find quite difficult to deal with, I think most people that are vegan that are doing outreach do. It's a hurdle. It's a barrier. It's a little jump that you need to take to sort of get the conversation moving in the right direction and actually make a change, because otherwise they're just going to stay where they are. Like, they're not going to actually move from their position, and there's no reason for them to actually stay vegetarian and not go vegan, and not go vegan at all. It just makes no sense. For the animals' perspective, and for their health, and for the environment, everything, it's just a bit weird. Like, why would you want scrambled chicken, period, and dairy, which is, for baby cows, like milk, and then it's off milk. Like, I just don't get it. Like, does it taste good? Because all I remember when I used to eat dairy, eggs, meat, I don't remember any of it tasting very good or satisfying or making me feel like, yeah. Like, I couldn't just sit and, like, chill and eat a bowl of meat, or, like, a bowl of... I mean, I would eat it. Like, I'd sit down on the sofa and watch something and eat it. But, like, I was way more cautious about my approach. And this has come from someone who, when I was very young, had eating disorder for a good few years. Of my first few years of my life, I was eating nothing but, chicken nuggets and Cocoa Pops. Literally, like, I was so fussy. I wouldn't eat anything. Sometimes I'd go without food because the food I was eating was just putting me off. Everything would put me off food, like babies eating in front of me, like everything. So I just couldn't, even someone like an adult eating in front of me, if they were messy, I just couldn't deal with it. I'd rather not eat. Like, it would put me off that much. So, on that note, go vegan. Go vegan for the animals, for your damn planet around you. Just go vegan. because no, just look into things. Like give it an open mind. If you're really considering going vegan and you're vegetarian, or you even you eat meat as well, just look into nutritionfacts.org. Look at Hench Herbivore on YouTube. Yeah, just don't just don't tickle around with it. It's the truth, and you don't need it for your health and the animals. Think about them. So even if you eat meat, and you're thinking about going more plant-based for your health, just think about what it is that makes you want to change. If it's down to just your nutrition, your diet, you think it's a healthier diet, just do it for that. Just do it for that. If you're feeling more towards, the feeling and the suffering of these sentient beings, just throw yourself into it and don't worry about it. Go and get your B12, go and get your vitamin D. Everyone needs to supplement these two supplements. That's the funny thing. Most people think it's just vegans that supplement it, but you don't get enough vitamin D from eggs. The studies have been done that it's just not enough. It's not enough. And also, just get your B12, get your vitamin D in, and buy a kelp supplement. I bought one from, I think it's called Ocean Kelp. It's from Nature's Path or something. It's a blue bottle. It's got Ocean Kelp written on it. I think that's what it is. Gets your iodine in every day. It's 150 micrograms you need a day for your natural thyroid function, for your skin. When I went vegan, I started out plant-based, let's just say, and my skin after a few years just started getting really dry in all these areas. This is just recent. This has nothing to do with it, but I realized I hadn't been having enough iodine in my diet, and sea salt and I think prunes have a bit. So that being said, just get your iodine in. It's more cost effective than buying seaweed every day and eating like 2.5 sheets or a sheet and a half of nori. These big sheets you have to scrunch up and dip in soy sauce and eat. Like, you can do it that way, but I prefer to just go and get a supplement. It's £8. It lasts for I think I've got 180 capsules. It's like one a day. That's 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180. That's 6 months supply. That's half a year. So just get your nutrients in, because if you're going vegan for whatever, for the ethical reason, that's the only way. You need to make sure your body is going to sustainably last, to do this lifestyle. And it's not like a lifestyle cool hippie choice, it's not. It's to do with helping the animals, and it will help your health if you give it the right things, your body. And the other thing is omega-3. I've been having a tablespoon of flax and chia a day. This is what Hench Herbivore would say to do. This is what nutritionfacts.org Michael Greger would say to do, the doctor, Michael Greger. He created the Daily Dozen, the dozen foods that you should have daily. Green vegetables being one of them for calcium. I think it's like three or 5 cups a day of, which is a small thing. It's a small cups is like palm size. Of greens a day, you'll get all your calcium. Broccoli, spinach, kale, whatever it is, your cruciferous greens, get them in for sulforaphane. They're very protecting of the genes. Very, very, very powerful things. They've even isolated it in some supplements. I know I've shouted out Coin Healthcare before about that. They've isolated it and put it as a liposomal supplement, so your body absorbs it and it does the right thing with it for longer. But it's always best to get these things from natural sources. So I'd say just go and get your B12, your vitamin D supplements, 100%. Get your kelp. You don't want to be eating seaweed every day, possibly. And omega-3, I got from £10 to $8.39 in a health shop. It's like 90 capsules. It gives you 1,000 milligram of omega-3 a day, ALA. It's alpha linoleic acid. It converts to DHA and EPA in the body, which is what your body needs. There are some supplements that are algae-based for vegans that have been broken down into the DHA and EPA already. So you can get that from, I think the brand's called Together. Just make sure you get your omega-3 in, because it's another essential thing for your skin, your heart, your eyes. So much. It's an antioxidant. It's needed. It's an essential nutrient, which means you have to get it from your diet. Same thing with iodine. Same thing with B12. Same thing with vitamin D. Iron, I think, it's the other one. And just get them in. Other than that, be safe, be well. I want to upload more things to do with I know, so you may know this about me already, but I've dabbled in a lot of different types of martial arts or just fighting arts. I quite like training it. Since a young age, I've had a sort of fascination with the fighting arts, probably based on the movies I was shown from quite a young age and things like this. And I'm gonna upload some things about that maybe, but we'll see. I don't want to be like a misguidance on self-defense, some sort of guru, because I'm not. It's all about the spur of the moment thing, what you can do to protect yourself. Grew up in London. Now I'm not in London, I'm in the sticks, I'm in the country, I'm in Sussex, and this is very different here, although there's no cameras around and it's pitch black in some of these places, so it's always good to stay safe. You don't know what's going to happen. And yeah, keep well, keep safe, and Merry Christmas, guys. Don't harm any animals this Christmas, that's what I say. And toodaloo.